Belly is that it's a smart waste system that is deployed already on the streets of many major cities around the world. The core value proposition is that it has a solar panel which would capture the energy to then drive a compactor inside the station, which increases the capacity of the station about 5x, so that we can dramatically decrease the number of times that a city or whoever is responsible for emptying the waste station has to touch it. In addition to that, it also has a cellular modem inside, so that as the station fills up, the notification goes up to the cloud, and whoever's responsible for emptying it gets a notification, knows when to respond to make sure that the system doesn't overflow. And then over time, that data is aggregated so that they can create smart routing and asset management schedules for trucks and people. So we drive incredible amount of operational efficiency into the public waste operations of a city. Of truck rolls that are required to service the public waste stations over time, right? So for instance, we have a use case where the city of Philadelphia would have to touch stations 17 times a week. And we have 1,000 stations, almost 900,000 touches during the course of a year. If we can take 60% of that, we're taking 600,000 touches, truck rolls, carbon emissions, and 600,000 plastic bags out of the waste stream for the city, as well as all the operational costs associated with that. So tremendous environmental and social benefits. So typical deployment of the Big Belly would be one unit for public waste and then typically recycling. And what we realized was that we had real estate in the right-of-way in major cities, in public parks, university campuses, and that as the requirement of the wireless infrastructure for capacity and coverage increases, they have to bring the radios and antennas closer to where the people are. And there's a direct correlation between public waste and wireless communications, because both of them are concentrated where the people are. And so we have the ability to now site infrastructure in the cabinets, and it's hidden in plain sight. It looks like it's just an extension of the Big Belly station, which is already accepted part of the streetscape. And now we can put the radios here for hosting various carrier, various IoT, and then by adding a pole to it, we can now put the antennas, we can put cameras, we can put other IoT sensors exactly where they're needed. So the idea is to modernize the public waste infrastructure of the city, turn it from a single function into a smart multi-function station that can handle not only public waste, but also as a siting option for wireless and IoT infrastructure in cities, in parks, and large public venues like college campuses, etc. One of the most interesting aspects of the smart city phenomena is that with the emergence of and the increasing role of the CIO within the city and the innovation offices within the city, what we're seeing is a breaking down of the silo where each organization would have its own network and its own set of capabilities that they were focused on. For instance, within the operations, the streets department, the transportation department, the public safety, the fire department, right? All of those departments typically had their own networking capabilities, and now with the expanded role of the CIO and the use of data, right? The mayor wants a dashboard where they have the KPIs across the city visible at a mayoral level. And now all those departments, through the work of the CIOs and the innovation offices, are being forced to roll that data up, and as a result, the silos are breaking down. And so, with our station, right, the number of stakeholders have increased from not simply being the public waste department or the sanitation department responsible for public waste, but now, for instance, in New York, they just announced a public health initiative based on decreasing the number of rats, and one of the core pillars of that is removing access to the food, which is exactly what the Big Belly does. So as a result, as part of a public health initiative in the city of New York, we're rolling out additional Big Belly stations so we can cut the rat population, right? At the same time, they want to address digital inclusion, right? So now you're going to take that same piece of real estate, turn it into multifunction by putting in the wireless infrastructure that will bring digital inclusion to neighborhoods that were underserved. Certainly over time, the ability to bring technology, deploy technology in the densest part of the urban environment is going to be critical, and the common denominators are going to be real estate, so somewhere to physically put the infrastructure, physically put the sensors. To get power, we have either solar power or we can connect to grid power or something like digital electricity, right? And then the backhaul. So by having this structure to then site, is it wireless infrastructure? Is it sensors? We can put cameras. But whatever it is, over time, you're going to have the capacity to do it and do it in a shared way so that every piece of infrastructure doesn't have to have its own real estate power and backhaul, but you've got a platform within the city that is extensible as the needs evolve and technology evolves.
Hey everyone, Todd Landry with JMA Wireless. Public safety in your facility is a critical factor in any building these days. It's important to understand what it means to put equipment in a building to ensure that that equipment is available during a scenario where you want public safety communications to be rigid and be available. What we need to do is make sure we package all the public safety components, and you should always look for solutions that can be encased in something that is resilient for any weather that might impact that system while it's operational. In this case, integrating different filter systems you need. Our system supports any range of the bands from the today's low band 150, 450 to the 700, 800, 900 megahertz bands. Now, even more importantly to that is making sure that these systems have the ability to be powered during the event that this equipment is needed. And one of the things we all want to do in certain areas is run fire retardant conduits and make sure that the system has power sourcing that can survive any fire scenario. Now, internal to this, that means that we can utilize a technology called digital electricity to centralize all that powering to this facility. So even in the event of a power outage, this equipment can be secured down in that central location and maintain its power capability. So critical characteristics you should be thinking about when you talk about public safety. Was that?
She shot me a few questions. So
on the public safety front?
Yeah. What are the challenges in deploying and building public? FirstNet would be made public. So I'll add them to see where you go.
You want to ask me, or what do you want to do?
I'll ask them and then you answer.
Oh, okay, okay.
Soundbite.
Sound bites from Australia.
Okay, so what is happening in the public safety space that's creating more activity and opportunity for in-building wireless infrastructure providers?
So in today's world, public safety is becoming top of mind in every aspect. In buildings, it's becoming an important aspect for equipment providers. JMA Wireless, of course, is focused on this and helping make sure that all the critical components of public safety and all the critical bands you might need to make sure you have public safety inside of buildings is in a very economic and a very integrated deployment model for those buildings. It's a very critical aspect for any vendor in this space.
Should FirstNet be made available inside buildings?
One of the things we're all aware of is an initiative by our government called FirstNet. Everybody should be looking at the FirstNet topology. It brings together the ability for first responders to use common technology no matter what environment they're going into to help you in the event of an emergency. So FirstNet technology should be integrated into DAS technology, in-building technology, and even specialized public safety technology like this equipment here. A very important part for everybody in the future.
Why does your company participate in Safer Buildings Coalition?
Today, JMA Wireless has become very focused on working with Safer Buildings Coalition. It's a very important organization to bring together all the mindset of the industry and make sure that we are building as vendors the right solutions for the industry, building the right applications that help first responders work. Yeah. Let me ask that. You want to know?
I believe I blew that one.
I did.
Okay, so yeah, why are you a member?
Hey, JMA Wireless is a member of the Safer Buildings Coalition, and it's a very important relationship because it brings together the community of intelligence that helps us make sure we define the right solutions and ensure that those get defined, developed, deployed across all of our buildings and infrastructure, make sure that our first responders have the right solutions to take care of us in the event of emergencies.
So talk about how JMA is helping build a smart city.
So for every city nowadays, we are looking at how to consolidate technology into a way that helps the city become a smarter, more connected city. With new technologies like Internet of Things, more capacity through new technologies like 3.5 gigahertz and some of the new 5.6 gigahertz, in addition to all the different mobile operator support, it's important to bring solutions together in very cost-effective, very streamlined packaging. JMA Wireless has worked very closely with our friends at Big Belly. We've integrated a solution that fits at the streetscape level. It's very accessible from the and maintainable from the sidewalk level. It gives us a solution for the city that is very, very different than anything else out there today, and gives the cities the ability to integrate smart technology and connectivity across the cityscape, and allows them to evolve to 5G capabilities as we look forward in time.
Talk about how JMA is helping densify the city network.
So the challenge of increasing performance in the city means that we have to increase the number of cells. We've all heard of this term, small cells, and inside of the city environment, we're going to end up seeing more and more smaller cells throughout the city. This allows more people to be in an individual cell or across multiple cells and give more performance across those cells. What we're doing is integrating technology into things like our new smart cell approach that allow us to deploy very easily throughout the city smaller multi-operator, multi-technology cells that can increase the performance across that user base within the city.
So it's using cellular. How about does it address any other IoT?
Sorry?
IoT type. You mentioned, like, give me a couple of sound bites. IoT application.
Yeah. So one of the emerging technologies is Internet of Things, or IoT. We expect to see some 5 to 50 different devices per user out there, which is going to extend the number of devices connected over cellular significantly. What's important to that, especially for smart cities and smart buildings, is to think about how that common infrastructure can also support all these IoT things. Now, we've been integrating technology into our platform, and we have many buildings and cities that are IoT ready with their infrastructure already. We continue to bring that technology into tighter packaging with our smart city solution, and we continue to bring it into solutions for our in-building offerings. Very important part of bringing IoT into these facilities. So some of you out there are wondering what a HETNET is. It's really short for heterogeneous network. Now, what does that really mean in practice? What we're really talking about here is bringing multiple technologies out to different nodes in a network. What does that mean? That means connectivity to deliver RF technology, so I can deliver cellular connectivity, IP connectivity, so that I can deliver other forms of wireless technology such as Wi-Fi, such as 5.6 overlays to leverage LWA and LAA type technologies that significantly increase performance. It's also a way to use different technologies such as LoRa for IoT devices if you want to have that kind of technology in adjacent to your cellular narrowband IoT technology. So heterogeneous networks are really how vendors like JMA Wireless are bringing together the delivery of multiple transport mechanisms and the packaging of multiple technologies in different areas of the city or in different areas of a building so that you can leverage multiple technologies in that facility. Do you want to do it in front of the DAS?
Yes, that would be general.
So for those of you who are thinking about where is DAS in today's evolving market, keep in mind that DAS continues to bring new technology together to be the most flexible solution to deliver multiple operator multiple technology capabilities to in-building environments and to highly densified city environments and campuses. With new technologies inside of DAS, like our latest software-defined radio nodes, we've been able to create even more flexible DAS solutions where we can come in at a very, very low cost point and be able to enable operators and enable neutral host organizations to add additional value and additional services to those facilities through a very intelligent, very software-definable DAS solution. Continue to look at these solutions as they're the appropriate way for you to deliver multiple technologies into your facilities.
What is a neutral host? Congratulations. The neutral host a growing trend?
So as we look at the trends with neutral host operators, we will see them evolve into doing many things.
Can cities benefit from neutral hosts?
So today, even cities can benefit from working with neutral hosts. Naturally, if you think about the city environment, you've got a range of different people all using different types of mobile devices out there. So really, the representation you want is a way to get single integrated technology, single infrastructure that is deployed with solutions like our latest smart cell topology. Those allow you to actually deliver support for all those mobile operators for your patrons of your city. Working with neutral hosts really helps you with that effort and make sure that you have the right representation, the right delivery of multiple technologies and multiple mobile operators across the city environment.
So JMA Wireless participates in the WIA and the forum. Talk about why.
So JMA Wireless is very involved in WI, and it's very important with the Wireless Infrastructure Organization to engage the industry and communicate and collaborate on approaches that help us evolve the industry to the next level. We're very pleased to be working with WIA. It's a great organization.